Hello, everybody. Welcome to Week Cat Sports. It's our weekly Red Wings breakdown. Overall, a decent week for the Wings. They did win 2 out of 3 games. They got 4 out of 6 points. That first game, though, this week, it was a little bit hard to first watch. I was there. They almost came back. They made it a little bit interesting, but ended up losing 5-4 to the Dallas Stars to start out the week. A little bit outplayed, but it was an interesting game.
Dallas seems to have our number. Alex Lyon probably played his worst game in the last 3 weeks. All in all, it was just, yeah. I mean, Dallas is a very good team. And they outshot us pretty good, too. Did they in that game?
38-34.
No, not bad. No, I mean,
It's still almost
all in
40
all, like I
shots,
said,
but
it was mostly. I think they were up 5-2 before we scored the last two.
three of our goals were power play goals. That we
Right.
were fighting till the end. There were some questionable ways of how to end that game. I remember when I was watching it that how they should have tried to push a little bit more at the very end instead of trying to make something in their own zone with a little time left. But throughout this month, it was a very very difficult month overall for the Wings, and still being well above 500 and in a playoff spot, no matter how this week ends, is pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
much better at the beginning of the month. We weren't very hopeful. Uh, and now I think they got like a 6 point cushion on the number 9 team for the playoffs.
and
So
and they are beating good teams. They beat the
right, they're
Flyers.
beating good teams.
They
So
they played the Flyers the second game this week, and they won 3-0.
yep, that was a great game.
And they played pretty well there too.
Flyers are a very rugged kind of physical team, and
And they
Costa got into a fight with a guy who was a monster. I forget the guy's name. It was like Dusseldorf or whatever. I don't know what the hell his name
but
was, but he
overall,
looked like a pure thug. Looked like he jumped out of a gigantic redwood tree with lumberjack thing, and man, he was tough. And Costin tried his best, and that's what we got him for.
yep.
So it was a fun game all around. A lot of physical play, and Wings dominated.
They didn't really dominate though too much on offense, only winning 3-0, but they only had 17 shots on net the whole game. But their
This is
defense was a
kind
little
of
bit
way
better.
they've been playing, though. I mean, it seems like they finally kind of played a more focused defensive game, and they're not putting a ton of shots on sometimes on net, but they're getting good chances, and 3 of those 17 went in. So what the heck?
Yeah, they had 30 shots against on for that game, but Lyman played pretty
Which is
well.
normal.
So that's actually a better number than it usually would be. And then the last game this week against the Golden Knights, you showed that you're a good team again by beating the Knights 5-2 at home again. And the Knights, again, 30 shots to 29, pretty even for the game. It was mostly an even game besides the goals.
It was a very good game. It was one of the best games of the year. Uh, High energy throughout most of the game. I know the Knights aren't really on a. They're kind of like on a down swing or something. They haven't been winning a lot lately, but they're still a great team. And to come out and play that way and to get a point, uh, 4 out of 6 points is great. This is like the third or fourth week in a row that we've played really good competition and have come out above, 500 on the points. We've been consistently getting, you know, 4 or 5 points out of every 6 points available to us every week. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do
Yeah.
and avoid those long losing streaks. You may lose a couple, 2 or 3 at some point, but you got to bounce right back and win 2 or 3, and then stay consistent.
Yeah.
Go with these 3 game patches and try to at least get 4 points. And if you can do that,
And you should win your one game this week. You only have one game this week because of the All Star break and the All Star game being this weekend. Um, you're playing the Senators at home. 18-25-2 are the Senators right now. From what we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season, they have shown that they're going to be the same team they have been the past few years, and they are struggling. Um,
which is odd. I really thought Ottawa was going to be a really big rival for us this year, and they still are. But oh, that's so
well,
sorry about that. But they have fallen off. They're not. They're below playing below expectations. This would be a big win for us.
That being said, though, when you look at it right there, we beat them the first game 5-2. They beat us the second game 5-4, and then they beat us the third game 5-1. So it's all going to depend on how we show up against them. You still can't take them lightly. They are at the moment averaging 3.33 goals per game, 3.6 goals against, a 16% power play, and a 73% penalty kill at the moment.
I do think that they're in the East. They are our burgeoning rival. Still, we don't like each other, and uh, it should be a great game on Wednesday. Looking forward to it.
And when we look at the standings just before, right, the end of this week, it's not going to be as long of a video because of the single game before the All-Star break. When you look at it, right, we are still fifth in the division, 1 point behind Toronto, 2 points behind Tampa, and 9 points behind Florida. We're not even going to worry about Boston, 71 points. You probably are not catching up to Boston unless Boston has an utter collapse.
Well, it's like what we said. If we make the playoffs, that's what we want. That's all we cared about. I don't care, 8 seed, 7 seed, 6, whatever. Just make the playoffs.
Right now, you're sitting 5 points up on the closest team, which is the Islanders, for that second wild card spot. And like I said, you're only a point behind Toronto, who's sitting in that first wild card spot. At the moment, since you're in the last wild card spot, we would have a matchup with Boston. It's a little bit early to say that,
It does not matter to me. I don't care who they play in the first round.
But we play Boston well anyway, so
right, we do. Well, I just I know that we have a game in hand on most of these teams, or not. No, most teams have a game in hand on us. So we played more than most of these teams. So we need to keep winning and get ahead of them. We have how many games left?
So after this week, there is a total of 32.
We have 32 games left.
After so 33.
So that's a possible out of 32. That's a possible 64 points, right?
Yeah.
And how many of the 90 do we got? How many points are we at?
We are currently at 57. So 33 points are needed.
So we need to play
above 500 again. Keep
above
on playing
500 the rest of the way. We play above 500. I think that we get in the playoffs.
My 99-point prediction might not be as good as it was at the beginning of the year because they do need a lot. They still need 40. They need to win 20 more games for my prediction to be correct.
Yeah. It's
or
doable.
21 games.
It's doable
for my prediction to be correct.
I think that's a little high, but I think they could get in the low 90s and somehow squeak into the playoffs.
And they have a very low amount of so the reason why the Islanders are so much still in the playoff push, and this has been an argument for quite a while on stuff, is because they have 12 overtime losses. That is 12 extra points.
Crazy.
That they have because they've only won 20 games. They are currently ahead of Pittsburgh, New Jersey, Washington, and Buffalo, who all have more regulation wins than New York.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really want to tamper with the scoring system. But we all play by the same rules. I know these ties. I don't like the overtime thing. I wish they would just play. I don't know.
It's like I said, it's something to think about when overall rules with the 3-2-1 point system.
I don't know what the answer would be because you can't.
You say it's a 3-2-1.
Endless overtime games.
It's a 3-2-1 point system. 3 for a win, 2 for an overtime win, 1 for an overtime loss.
3 for a win.
3 for a win.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try anything, see if it works.
But that is what they're currently trying in the women's hockey league, and people like that. That's the way it goes. And that's what people have kind of been fighting for. But that's just the thing. You got a team that doesn't have as many regulation wins. Well ahead, they're ahead of 5 different teams in the standings, and they haven't won as many games.
Or you know what? You could keep it the same, dude. I think it'd be more better, just like maybe 2 for a win, regulation, or 2 for a win, overtime win, and then maybe a half point for an overtime loss.
Could do that. It could. And, I mean, that
Half
might fix
point.
something, but it is what it is. There's not much we fully can do when it comes to that. We have to deal with how the year is. But hopefully we win this week, get our one win, go to up 2 more points, get up to 59, put the pressure on Tampa, who has a game up on us. They do not play anymore this month. So you could actually hop the third place in the division to end the month of January. Uh, as long as I think Toronto's done too. So you could hop into third place by the end of this if you win on Wednesday. So you can have a good position to be at the end of the month of January, which is what we wanted. They played well. Nothing more I can ask for.
Yes, and now we're going to be pretty wing heavy for quite a
Yes,
while
wing heavy videos.
after our
Disappointing
Lions
loss.
lost.
Going into hockey.
So
Hockey will be,
now we need the Wings to cheer us up.
and we got the Tigers coming up, but that's not for a couple more
That's
months.
right. That's well, spring training starts in
March.
a month.
Yeah, February,
Well,
March.
spring's a
But
little more than a month.
with all that being said, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Until next time, hope to see everybody soon.